Hey guys, Magnus Robert here, bringing you another video. Today, we're going to be doing an Act 3 and 4 review for Act 3 and 4 of the Simpsons Tapped Out Holiday Whodunnit event. So, both Act 4 and Act 3 and 4, have both dropped. I've completed both of them, played through the quest line. Want to say, very odd, there's actually no epilogue for this event. It just kind of ends after the final part of Act 4, which is a bit weird, but I mean, it's fair enough. You don't have to have an epilogue, I guess. It's always a nice way to close the event off. But I think this one closed it off fine, I guess, in terms of the quest line. So we're going to be going through the actual content of both acts. We're going to be reviewing both acts and reviewing all the individual content. I'll decide which one is the best out of the two of them, and then I'm going to finally tell you which is my favourite act out of all four of the acts that we got. So, let's start it off by looking at Act 3, which of course was titled Ho Ho Do. So, here is the prize track. Shout out to the wiki as per usual, because that's where I get these images from. I just snippet them. So, let's have a look. So, Ho Ho Do. So, the first prize of this act was Elf Mo. Now, I think Elf Mo as a costume is pretty cool. I think his animations are fine. I think the costume has voice as well, like unique voice. Which is awesome to see. Sometimes they don't do that, so it's great when they do. Yeah, I think it's interesting enough. I mean, look-wise, it's kind of surface level, like it's nothing that interesting looking, but I do think the animation and the questline makes up for it, so I'm fairly happy enough with Elf Mode, to be honest. I think he's pretty damn cool. The second prize is Elf Ears Machine. This one is, honestly, it's kind of meh. It's alright, I guess. I don't hate it, but I don't love it either, so I think I'm just cool with that one. Of course, it does get added to the store as well, so you can buy multiple, which is an added bonus, I guess. Then we have the Gnome in the Home Dome Automatons. Sorry. This one is probably my least favorite content from the prize tracks as a whole. I just don't like crowds. I mean, they're fine. They don't like. I don't think they look like bad, but I'm just never a fan of crowds. I'd much prefer them just to add these guys as NPCs or something. But I guess they're they're automatons. They're a robot, so I guess it kind of. I think I can give them a pass, but I still don't think that they're a great decoration is all. But yeah, they're nothing that offends me greatly, is what I'll say. And then the fourth prize, we have the Sideshow Mel sleigh with the animated job for Sideshow Mel. Love the sleighs. I love the animations they've added for them, so I've got nothing but love for this one. Again, if it were just the sleigh on its own and it didn't come with an animation, I'd probably have some negative things to say, is all I'll say. But no, I'm happy enough with this one. It's cool. And then we've got You Forget Me Nots as the final prize of the act. This store is actually pretty unique because it earns the gift cards for your town, for the event. So you can actually earn the gift cards from this building. I forget exactly what it is, and then you can use that to actually buy the gift cards. So yeah, very cool. Obviously, there's quite a lot of exclusive content in the box, and it's the better box as well. It's not like it earns it for the last minute gift one, it earns it for the proper actual box. So very awesome. It's a very cool feature. The only thing I will say is it's weird that they added this building as the final prize for Act 3, so you're really not going to have very much time to generate currency and generate gift vouchers. You only have like one act to do it, because if you're playing legitly, by the time you get this building, it's going to be the end of Act 3 anyway, or coming up to the end of Act 3. So it really doesn't give you, plus the time that it takes to actually build the building, and you've got to factor all these things in. By the time it's built, you're not going to have much time to actually earn the gift vouchers. So I would have preferred it if this was added a little earlier, at the very least Act 2, but really it should have been added as the final prize for Act 1. I think it would have been a bit more significant of a building that way. But at the very least, it is a cool feature. At least it wasn't added at the end of Act 4. It does give you one act to earn some, currency and get some gift vouchers. But then I can understand why, because they still want an incentive for players to buy donuts. I think it's excusable. I just really wished it was added a bit sooner. But it's still a cool building with a unique feature nevertheless, so I've got to give it some props. So overall, I think this act is okay. I do need to talk about the structure, though. The structure is horrible. I hate the structure. Especially, I didn't think they did a great job tying in Elfmo as the first prize anyway. I think it would have made more sense for him to come somewhere in the middle of the act, really. Yeah, I don't know. I would have liked it if Elfmo was the final prize. It makes the event just flow better, but I think we're probably going to have to get used to this new structure they're doing, where they're just like, screw it, we'll chuck in a costume here, costume there. It seems to be what they're doing, but so maybe we'll just have to get used to it, but I do miss the old structure as well, so yeah, but I think this act was pretty solid apart from that, really. Then we have the Act 3 Premium, which of course was the Gnome in the Home with the Gnome in the Home dome. Yeah, I mean, this character was pretty cool. I think his animations were fine, as much as I can remember. His questline was okay as well. I was fairly enough happy with his character. I think the building's cool enough as well. Nothing amazing, nothing bad. Yeah, I feel like most of the premium characters have been pretty mediocre, to be honest. The only building that I think really stood out to me was the Mount Useful, which I really liked, although I kind of wish it was added to you could add it to the mountains. But all the premium stuff has been fairly, like, mediocre. None of it's been, like, bad. Like, even with Mary Tannenbaum, like, I generally would have thought that she was, like, I probably would have initially said, oh, just a generic character. But they did, like, a really good questline for her, so I can kind of, like, I actually think Mary Tannenbaum might have been my favourite, thinking about it. Probably, which is actually kind of surprising. But no, he looks cool. He's got okay animations. I think he's just fine. Gnome in the Dome, whatever his name is. I don't know. Part of me wishes that we didn't get the mascot version and we got the actual version that torments Maggie in the episode. But I guess we've got that guy in the box, I guess, so that makes sense. I don't know. Yeah, but he's pretty cool. So props to him. Then we have Act 4. Yeah, that's right. Act 4, which of course is titled, you'll see it there, but I'm just quickly scrolling down the wiki to make it. Slaying It, that's it. Slaying It. So, this act, apologies that you can't see the Christmas beaver. Damn, for some weird reason the picture didn't load up on the website, but here we have it. So we have the Flake Blaster first, which, as a decoration, it's about on par with the elf ear maker thingy. I mean, it's nothing bad, nothing amazing. It's just standard, really. I've got no massive complaints about it. Clip Clop as an NPC. Okay. So Clip Clop, part of me likes Clip Clop, and part of me hates Clip Clop. The reason for this is, so Clip Clop is Milhouse and Ralph inside some wrapping paper in the shape of a pony. That's the point. And when you tap Clip Clop, you see, I think Ralph has like a little line of dialogue, and you see Milhouse and Ralph pop out of the NPC. Now, the reason why I love it is it's just funny seeing a pony walk around in wrapping paper. The reason why I hate it is the animated job shows you a clone for Milhouse and Ralph, when realistically, part of me kind of feels like this should have been a costume, and for either there's two ways they could have made this a costume, okay? The first option is make it just a costume for either Milhouse and Ralph, and then you can just imply that the other person is there, and, it's not an actual costume for Ralph or Milhouse, for the other person. So it's just a costume for, let's just say, Milhouse. It's just exclusively a costume for Milhouse, but it's, like, implied through the dialogue not dialogue. It's implied through the quest line that Ralph is inside there as well. But it's not a costume for Ralph also. And the second option, and this is what I would prefer they do, but I guess it might be hard in terms of like how you make it happen. But the other option is it's a costume for both characters. So when you click that costume, it gives you like a little box saying like, this will combine Milhouse and Ralph into one character. Are you sure you would like to do that? And then you say yeah, and it like combines them as one big character basically. And then when you want to get rid of them, you just flip. There'll be like a button to basically like demerge them, and you demerge them into two separate characters again. That's an option they could do. I mean, that might be a bit too confusing, so I'd be just happy enough with them just adding Clip Clop just for a costume for one of them. So part of me kind of hates Clip Clop, and I don't know, because I love the look of it, but it rubs me the wrong way that it's like Ralph and Milhouse inside of it. That's the only thing that I don't like. So yeah, that's my opinions on Clip Clop. Love the look of it. But don't like the animation. And you know what? It would have been an easy fix if they just made it so like the animation just like when you tapped it, it just like did a horse sound. It's like, oh, maybe it is an actual horse in there after all. That could have been like a solution, but whatever. The third prize is the Christmas Beaver Dam. Apologies, you can't see it. It's nothing too interesting. It really is just another nature preserve thing. I like these, don't get me wrong, but they're nothing to like go crazy about because we've got plenty of things just like this. So, yeah. Then the Rich Texan Sleigh with the animated job, of course. I actually really love this one. I think this one's really cool with the car. And what are they? Bulls or bisons? Or I don't even know what animals that are meant to be. But, yaks. No, it's a really cool sleigh. I actually really like that one. And, of course, it's got the animated job, which is an added bonus. And then finally, the final prize of the event is, of course, the Warehouse Hideout. Gotta say, the event kind of fizzles out a little bit to me. I think in terms of the quest line, it's fine. But in terms of the prizes, it's just bit lame that this is the final prize. It's kind of ugly looking. It is quite big, which I appreciate. They scaled it up quite a lot, which is kind of cool, but it's just, damn, it's ugly. It's such an ugly ass building. And so I'm not really too keen on this being the final prize. It's a bit of a letdown, I don't know. And of course, we have the elephant in the room. There's no character. There's no full playable character in this act or a full playable costume either. It's just an NPC, which, of course, is a bit of a downer as well. Not particularly amazing there. So, yeah, Act 4, not perfect. The Nutcracker with the actual North Pole. The actual North Pole, I think, is just fine as a building. Nothing amazing, nothing bad. And then the Nutcracker, honestly, bit generic, nothing too crazy to say about him really. His questline was okay, I guess. The actual character is, looks wise, is cool enough, I guess, although we do have like a bunch of Nutcracker decorations. I guess this guy's a mascot though, so it makes sense that obviously he's a character in this instance. The animations are a bit repetitive. It's the same thing really. One is obviously him cracking a nut and then slapping some guy in the face and then breaking his jaw, and the second animation is basically he has like a laser or something, and he's cracking the nuts with a laser. It's a bit weird, but yeah, I think he's fine. I don't hate him, don't love him. I like I said with the gnome and the home, whatever he's called. I think the characters in this event have just been pretty like standard, really, nothing bad. The premium, I mean. So that's the event pretty much wrapped up. Well, Act 3 and 4 review. So yeah, I think Elfmo is I think Act 3 and Act 4 have both been okay. I don't think they're amazing, but I don't think they're bad. I think they're okay acts. Even Act 4, despite it having clip-clop, I still think it's got some good stuff in there. Although, I think Act 4 is the worst out of all of them, saying that, because there's only one building and one NPC, so yeah, I don't know. I like the sleigh, so I feel like I don't hate it too much. But if I'm going to have to say which one's better, obviously, in terms of Act 3 and Act 4, Act 3 is better with the Ho-Ho-Do, with Elfmo and all that. And then, overall, which act I think's better? I still think Act 2 is the best act, personally, for me. I know that some people disagree. Like, Herb Tannenbaum is really, really cool to get, but Act 2, it just is really strong for me. It's got a really cool costume for Sideshow Bob. It's got a much needed and long overdue facade for Krusty Burger. It's got a pretty cool sleigh for Krusty as well with the animated job. And it's got not one, but two buildings. And on top of that, there's also a facade for the Snake's house. So you're getting two facades, two buildings, one decoration, one costume. I think that's just a really good deal. So that's why I think Act 2 is still the best, in my opinion. I think followed up closely by Act 1. Act 1 is just a second, it's still a good act. Act 1 followed it, and then Act 3 is probably next, and then Act 4 I think is the worst. So it pretty much goes in order, apart from 1 and 2 are swapped around, and then it goes in order. That's how it goes in order of how good it is. So yeah, that's the event. Obviously stay tuned. I'll probably, hopefully, maybe, possibly get the content list out tomorrow, where we'll basically just go through every single item again and just give my overall thoughts of it. And at the end of that video, I just kind of give my overall overview of this update. Just do want to say it has been a good update for the most part, and yeah. Also, just quick update on the channel and stuff. I've kind of not really got much time lately, so that's why the videos have been pretty sparse, pretty rare, we'll say. But I will get on eventually to doing the costumes ranked, the buildings ranked, and all that, because now this event has ended, I can finally do all those planned videos. They're all they're all going to be coming out. I want to get them all finished by like the end of January, so that's my ultimate plan. I haven't yet worked on the character spotlight. Honestly, that's probably going to be a bit delayed. I do apologize, but haven't had any time to even look at that yet. And event ideas, I know it's been like 2 weeks now since I've released a event idea. There is one in the works. Hopefully I can get that one out to you by the 10th. That's my estimate anyway. But anyway, like I said, thanks for watching. Stay tuned tomorrow for the content list, and I shall see you next video. Goodbye.